Okay, hi, this is a quick overview or look at the new RAB Ridge Master bivvy. I've had this for 2 weeks now. I've used it twice, once in good weather, once when it was initially sleet, which turned to snow, and then the following morning it was frozen on the outside, and it performed absolutely superb. I'll give you some quick specs. It's got a weight of 42 ounces, and that's all in. 80 centimetres wide, 270 centimetres long, and 30 centimetres high. It's saying that, but I think that's probably at the tail end, because that certainly is in 30 centimetres. My best bet is that's nigh on 70 centimetres, not too short of a metre high there. Either way, there's plenty of room inside for you to sit in your front. If you want that in inches, 31.5 inches wide, 106.3 inches long, and 11.8 inches high. Again, I think that's the highest point down at the tail there. Some of the specs for this, it's saying it's made out of a vent waterproof fabric bivvy, which RAB do with most of their single skin stuff. I'm not sponsored or endorsed by RAB or Gore-Tex, and I know there's always an argument going on which is the best. In my own opinion, and this is just my own opinion, I have plenty of people that will disagree with me, and I respect their right to. I think a vent is a vastly superior fabric to Gore-Tex, not just in the sense of the permeability of water and waterproof, but more in the sense I've found it to be more durable and a tougher material. I don't know the reasons why. I'm not a genius really or know it all when it comes to how it's made. I know the basics of it, but it basically appears to me to be a lot more hard wearing and better working material, particularly when you're using it rougher. It's got 2 external pole tunnels. You've got the one external one here, which you can then see coming at the bottom here, and there's a further one down the end, which I'll show you as I move around. Both of these 8mm DAC press fit poles. You've got one 2.5mm pole guy line rope, 140 centimeters included, it says. Now that's the one down that end, which I'll get round to. But these 2 that are coming off the top here were also supplied with it. They appear to be made out of Dyneema with a Kevlar reflective sheath around it. Looking at it, I would say it's either 2 or 3mm with cam cleats, which also came included with it. You've got the one left side door with an inner side mesh door with the tape loops to turn this door into an awning, which I'll show you shortly, and it's got a 10 centimetre bathtub floor. You also got 7V stake pegs that come with it, which are DAC pegs, which, as you know, are going to be very, very good quality stakes. Pack size is 30 centimetres by 16 centimetres, or in your old school it's 12 by 6 inches. It is absolutely tiny when it's packed. My Coleman gas cylinders, I use the 500cc ones. One of those on the top of each other are higher and wider than what this is when it's packed, and yet when it's unpacked it's a very large bit of kit. Right, I'll give you a walk around. You excuse the state of the garden, currently refurbishing my house, and the garden, as you can see, has got tons of stuff piled up in it. Now these guy lines you see here coming off it, these are what I've fitted myself. I did this with my, I've also got a Ridge Raider and a Mountain Summit bivvy as well, and I've done this with all of them purely because I find this, if you're on a bit of raised ground where it's dropping away either side of you, it can give you almost a little bit more of a limpet effect, where you can attach lines out and spider leg it out, as I like to call it, and then that can fasten you down or batten you down onto whatever spot you're on, leave a little bit of slack for movement. You can move around. This is from the front view, and then it's obviously stamped on the Eurovent fabric, so you can see what it is. Very well put together. There's a new type of material, or certainly new looking material here. Very, very, very tough. It feels like that would be exceptionally hard wearing. And then obviously you've got the usual, I think is siliconized, some sort of nylon that they've used for the tunnel for the aluminium pole to pass through. Reflective points here on these taped down double stitch seams. All seams are taped internally as well. And then I've got quickly here, so you can also see this is the bag that it comes in. This one here, first of all, which is looking a lot wider than it actually is. And in comparison, I've got your average size hands. You can see my hand next to it. It's tiny. But yet again, RAB's attention to detail, even the pack it comes in is top quality. This is a real tough siliconized material with a vent on the end, so you don't get any moisture build up. Should you be, how shall I put it, silly enough to put your tent away or your bivvy away without letting it dry thoroughly first at home, and let some moisture go. You also get a quality bag here, which inside this holds the poles. Same material again, event fabric on the end, applying here, and then finally get this bag which got the pegs in it. All of them have got reflective Dyneema on them. Fantastic. No surprises there. RAB with their attention to quality yet again. Take you down to the bottom end. So you've got the bottom end here. Again, tape seams all around the inside. Some sort of circularized rubbered material across the top here, and the same with the bathtub. Very well stitched in, reinforced, which I'm happy with here. I felt the Ridge Raider didn't quite have enough durability on it. Again, I've got the lines running off here, which gives me the tension options, cam cleats. These are what I added myself. This one at the top here, which is almost like a Belay loop system. This it came with it, which pulls out, and essentially what it does is it tensions the top half. Place the other half down, put your bottom half down, fix those out, and then fix the two top halves last, ensuring that they're pulled at a slight angle, and you can see this gives you plenty of tension. And that, for me, what they've done here, this is the best thing about this really. My only gripe, shall I say, with the Ridge Raider is the fact that I'd wake every morning where this half flies flat on your feet, particularly if it's snowing. It's sat on top of you and you get a lot of moisture passing through, which isn't a problem because I use most of the time my Snug Pack sleeping bag, which is a synthetic bag, even though it's got a -25 range synthetic, which isn't a problem for myself. However, if you're using down, unless you're using something like Xped's water block ones, which are completely waterproof, you're going to have a lot of problems. And if you're going on a 2 or 3 days hike in bad weather, particularly winter or heavy rain, as you know, come the third night, you're not going to be warm and it's going to put an end to your trip. So they've certainly met that now with this, and it gives you right off the ground, keeps it totally off your feet. Slightly smaller foot box, but the length of it, you don't even get your feet down the end of it. I'm 6'2", and with my head in the top end, I've probably got a good foot and a half to go at the bottom. Oh, I don't know whether that's just because of the way I'm lying, but there we go. Right, so you've got the door by here, which has got a storm flap which covers this bit here, so when you zip up, the storm flap comes down and gives you a run-off point here. I'm assuming this is here to act as almost like a capillary action here down here, so the water comes off. Reinforced all round, and you've got, as usual, very good, large sized, almost like a sticky rubber, glow in the dark siliconized material again. I've unzipped the inside fly sheet so you can see inside. Bear with me. It's hard to get open, but that's a good thing in the rain because you don't want any water getting through. And down this side, storm flaps covering all the zips. You can bear with me, it's a bit of hard work with one hand. Right, so this is it. One nice little touch I've added on this now is, as you can see here, you've got little flaps, which, as any person who knows, when you're bivvying, it starts raining, you're going to get a little damp. Now, if it starts coming down in a bit of a hurry, myself, if I know it's going to be raining, I'll put my sleeping bag inside my bivvy already and throw it all into the bag in one go so my stuff is dry when I take it out. Should get caught in a storm though, it gives you, as you can see here, a little bit of an awning, which isn't exactly amazing, but it gives you enough so as you can sit in there with your feet out and you're mostly out the storm straight away. You could crawl in and get yourself sorted and mostly stay dry. Use these little bits by here. If you've got your walking poles or any bits, really just stick a stick through there and this will hold this out and you've got a nice awning. I'll hold this up for you out of the way now. Here's the fly sheet, I've already rolled that up, and again they've added a nice feature with a double reinforced toggles for this. Basically, if you want to roll up the outer bit, you use this, tie the fly up, the inner fly mesh, and then pull it over the top, loop this in here, and there's your toggle on the top there, and loop it through there. Right inside, as you can see inside, tons of room. The camera doesn't really give you good perspective of how much room you've got, but there it is, there's tons of room in here. You're going to have plenty of room for yourself and your gear. When I was talking about down the bottom end, you can see right the way down there, there's absolutely tons of room. Great bit of kit. All seams closed up, joined here all the way along and off my light on my cameras. I'm really making that visible, but you can see there's tape seams everywhere. Everything's reinforced, every point where you might have a weakness. Absolutely fantastic bit of kit yet again by RAB, and I must admit, I think it's going to be very hard for anybody or any manufacturer to come up with a bivvy that's better than this. The closest one is probably the Terra Nova Saturn, but that's very low, and I just find not a very practical bit of kits. Also, if I recall, the material used is about 25 years old now. The basic design of it's still a very basic Gore-Tex material. So there you go, that's the overview of it. Finally, I'll just give you the specs rundown, because they've also included a bit now about the alloy poles themselves, which they're using a new method which is called green anodizing, DAC. They quote, regular anodizing is an unhealthy and wasteful process that uses hazardous chemicals and large amounts of water. After 8 years of trial and error, DAC have developed an environmentally safe and responsible process for what we call green anodizing. DAC green anodizing involves no nitric or phosphoric acid and greatly reduces water consumption by using recycled water for rinsing. So that's their little bit they're putting in for the environment, which at the end of the day, in my books, that's a big tick. I know some people probably aren't that bothered, but that is a big tick for me. And so there you go, folks, this is a general overview. Hope this gave you a good idea if you're thinking of getting one. Myself, I think it's an amazing bit of kit. I would say definitely get it. Bivvies aren't going to get any better than this. You've got room for yourself. I say I'm 6'2", 16.5 stone, and there's room for me, no problem, and room left for my kit to get inside. My rucksack, I just got a big X-Ped liner which I use. Drag it out of my rucksack. Once I've got everything in here, chuck it all into that, and then stake it down just underneath one of these stakes next to the door. Usually I'll put the loops of that into that and then stake it down, so should anybody go for it in the night, it's going to shift a whole lot and I'll feel them. There you go, folks, the new RAB Ridge Master, available now. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to go and enjoy this. Take care.